Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And I'm going to put up the live version of this, but this will be the short version. This will be going up first. I think the live version, I'm going to start following them in a day or so, because having them on top of one on top of the next, I don't know if it's working. Anyway, let's talk about good old Moonrise over the lake. And first off, this was a commission piece for me. I don't do lots of commissions, but I'm open to it if it's something that I'm into, I guess is how I'd put it. And the fellow that contacted me here was initially interested in some nest studies I'd done that were moonscapes. But those, one was in a gallery somewhere when we've got the COVID thing, and the other one is, I just think, very small, smaller than what he was looking for. But he hit me up with this idea of incorporating a lake from his childhood with a moonrise, and I thought that sounds really like a fun challenge. So now, when I was an illustrator, one of the things that I would do would be extensive research. So one of the things that I wanted to do on this particular project was look at how nocturnes had been handled by a bunch of different masters in the old days, because, you know, photography has really changed our conception of what nighttime is and looks like. And it's not always accurate, to be honest, because it always needs to be lit from somewhere. So for a long time I've been very interested in what happens to colors at night, and you know, this was also a perfect chance to kind of get into that. So what I decided to do after, you know, I collected all kinds of images, and mostly though I'm pivoting off of this one moonrise image by George Inness, but what he did was very much in keeping with the traditions that came before him, and that was a lot of brownish umbers, lightly going into like a raw sienna type tone, offset against blue-gray. Now, I didn't use any actual blue in this painting, but when you look at it, the finished one, it just looks blue as, and that's because, let's face it, black is really blue. You know, if you didn't know that, I'm telling you now, black is blue, and all you got to do is add white to it. And as a matter of fact, in the studio today, I was doing a monochromatic study, and I was adding raw umber to my gray and white mixture to neutralize it, because it was so cool. Yeah. Anyway, so, and then there's a sort of yellow light that I got into. Now, this is not so much a realistic depiction of a nighttime scene as it is a play off of the master's approach. And I don't know if a realistic depiction is even possible. I've often thought of that, because again, like I said just a minute ago, you're going to have some sort of artificial light in the scene. You know, even say you take a long exposure with a DSLR or something, it's gathering so much light that in itself is artificial. It's not realistic to our eyes or our perception. It'd be interesting what humans in the future with augmented senses might be able to perceive. You know, that's a separate topic. So you can say I started with my typical black drawing over the masonite, and the surface is quite smooth. So one of the things I've been doing on masonite is I changed my brush technique a bit to get a little more interest in the strokes, which are creating a visual texture. Where a lot of times if I'm using a textured board, oh hey, check it out, go visit my site, and please like and comment on this video. I sure appreciate that. If you're getting value off this channel, you know, join in, contribute. How about it? Anyway, so from the drawing portion, which is just basically black, I believe I used lamp black on this one. I just start going in with the grays first. And my thinking is that the gray tones most represent the sky. Now, one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted this to be obviously and clearly a night scene, and yet I didn't want it to be overwhelmingly dark. Like, for example, I could glaze this with some black and get some very groovy effects. But I did do a glaze, and if you want to see that and you're interested in my glazing technique, you got to stay tuned to like the 13-minute mark. So for those of you that like to bail around now, yeah, no, just stay with me. Actually, yeah, I'm trying to get more. Well, I go back and forth. Sometimes I just burble on in these 15-minute videos, and I have to say, if you're, I know how it is. You're hungry for information. You're busy. You don't care, what have you. But you know, if you're really into getting solid information, I recommend taking the time to follow my live videos. And actually, I have to say that at any point in these 15-minute videos, there could be a tip that could completely change your life as a painter. So beware of just going for quick, hey, mix this with that to get that, solves all your problems. You know what I mean? That sort of thinking isn't really what painting's about, and we don't need painting to be that. Frankly, in this, I have a extensive history. I made a really good living doing artwork inside the computer for 13 years. Okay, everything in there is quick, instant, quickest way, etc., etc. And I don't do that anymore. I do paintings now because that's all very disposable. I mean, why would you want to get involved with it? And you're sure to make a cool image, but is there any shortage of cool images in the world? I mean, it's infinite. Not that I'm talking you out of making a cool image. You want to make a cool image, please do. We have plenty of room for more. However, what a painting has is you have to, you're totally linked up with a long-standing tradition, and that's one of the things this painting totally represents, by the way, the tradition of the nocturne in oil paint. Now, a lot of guys are working on canvas, some guys are working on wood panel. I prefer wood panel. Sorry, little gap there. I discovered that then that curses the video that the full-length one I burned last night is it's got some segments out of order. So, I mean, what I do is I basically hit record. Sometimes I get up, I have visitors, whatever. When I sit back down to work, I hit record again. So, in my program, I have to marry up all these segments together into one contiguous video, and yeah. Then I burn that out, and that's what you see in the live videos. It's actually what you see here too. This is just a sped up version. Anyway, I digress. What I was talking about was, I got out of this instant gratification mode and into making things in a way that was no different from a tradition going back for hundreds and hundreds of years. And that's valuable. And the other thing that's valuable is it's not just an image. It is actually a thing in this physical reality. In this reality we inhabit, this is a thing. It's not in a virtual reality and then gets printed out, which is a representation of the actual artwork. And trust me, I'm an expert on this stuff. I printed, hundreds and hundreds. I was paid very well to print out my digital designs on all sorts of products, mostly t-shirts, but all sorts of products, including in some cases reproductions on paper, So don't be so anxious to get quick. Just relax. Have a practice, okay? Like, sit down and say, okay, I've had my supper, I've cleaned the dishes, I was going to watch some TV, but instead I'm going to do my painting. And if you want, some people can work with stuff in the background. Heck, my brother-in-law is a jeweler, very of the highest order. He works on, you know, $1 million pieces. He's got a movie or something going on in the background as he works, and his work is like painting has got nothing on the meticulous nature of the things he has to do. You know what I mean? But he's one of those people that can, you know, have their attention split like that. If you are, you know, have you know, several things are good on in the background. You know, podcasts are great, audiobooks are great. In fact, audiobooks are really one of the best things. And you can even have a friend over and talk to him. You'd be surprised. It's not. It takes up different chunks of your brain. As a matter of fact, I think some of my mates are a little disappointed in my since my move back to the quarry, because I am videotaping now. So whereas I used to just paint and chat, I'm like, I'm taping right now, so we will talk later. Yeah, so you know, now there's, you can see I made a bit of a mistake there, which got corrected, and that is the reflection of the moon was a little off, and the reason for this is from your angle everything is straight on, but I am actually painting at almost a 33-degree angle just for you, just to help you out. Yeah. Just to accommodate that camera, really. Otherwise, my shoulder would be in the way. I've often contemplated what it might be like to use a GoPro or something on my forehead, but I think that would bob around a lot. That probably wouldn't be so killer. I have a good solution now, and you know, we're through most of the information portion of the video. I'm going to talk about today painting this monochromatic. I have a new camera, and I recorded the video at 60 at the frame rate of 60 frames per second, okay, which should be incredible. I haven't even looked at it yet. I wanted to get this done real quick and burning so that I have something to put up tomorrow. But very excited about that, and I needed a backup camera. This is not the backup. My camera I used to film this, which is still pretty comparable in quality, especially at the 1080. The difference is it's got the 25 frames per second, which, you know, you wouldn't notice sped up like this anyway. But it'll definitely make a difference on the live. It's going to be like butter. Well, whether I can actually afford to accommodate that on hard drives and time-wise, because those movies are probably going to be really big, I don't know yet. But either way, I'm a real freak for quality. And okay, so that was the end of the first painting session. First, you're going to see my little fix. The old T breaks out the old T-square. See, yeah, fixed it up. I was actually reviewing the, I think that footage from that day at home, and I saw, oh, curses. That's okay, you know. That's just one of the great things about oil paint, is you got more than one chance to get things right. And that's the other thing I guess I want to talk about. I was really stoked with this painting the way it was. So after that little fix, I let everything dry, hit it with some liquid. You can kind of perceive that because you see a little bit of reflection. Scraped it down, and now I'm going to glaze it. The color I'm glazing with is transparent earth yellow from Gamblin. That's very light. In the live video I talk about it quite a lot. You can see the subtle yellow glow that it's given us, right? Which is transformative. This painting, I knew I was going to do it, the whole painting. And you can't really paint that effect. You can't paint that color, just so you know. So now the risk you run, of course, there's a few other little things I want to doctor up to get that moon not perfectly spherical, but you know, looking good. Also just a touch brighter, yeah. But I just loved all the brushwork. I loved I think it was finished nicely, but you could see the strokes, you know, so I definitely resisted the urge to go in and start smoothing things out. And this is what happens every time you start overworking things. If you put them back on the easel, you're going to lose something. You're going to lose, like this in this case, you can lose that nice feel of those brush strokes, which feels like a painting. We don't need a photo, right? Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for letting me, you know, present this video to you today. It was a great commission, and thank you so much, sir, for the commission, and glad you like it. And I'll be back real soon with another video. And in fact, look out for the live one here. Until that time, please do me a favor. Take good care and stay out of trouble.